Hey, thanks for taking a few minutes to check in with us. In fact, talking about the word check-in, we just did a relationship check-in. Now, I don't know about you, but those can be kind of a little bit scary sometimes because while you know that there's areas that you're strong in, sometimes there's areas that you need to develop, which I've just learned.
Yeah, so when I was doing this, of course, when my first top strength came out as commitment, and I think it comes from we were just talking a little bit about this. I think it comes out of my past, maybe from I came from a very long line of people who had marriages. They stuck together no matter what through the strong, through everything, and so I think it's probably just part of who I am as a person. So knowing that commitment and just that steadfastness of knowing this relationship, we're going to work it through.
Well, and I think my attraction to you was because I knew that you were a committed person, because I came from a family background where commitment wasn't always followed through. So when they hit tough times, the marriages fell apart. So I came from a broken family. And because of that, I was looking for a family that I could have that would be fully committed and long lasting. Right. And so I could testify with the fact that she's committed. Some people say that she must be committed to be with me.
Yeah, sure.
So commitment was a big, strong piece that you showed. And well, one of the things when we do a relationship check-in is I mean, it's great to talk about, you got to focus on what you're strong at. We don't talk enough about that. But I think one of the things that we don't always do is we don't always come up with strategies on how to work through the difficulties. So we go, yay, we're good at something. But then when we find something that's a struggle, we just go, oh, we moan. But what we want to do today is just talk about, and we're going to talk live here. We want to be vulnerable for a few minutes here with you, that we didn't pre-plan this. We purposely said we're not going to discuss our action plan. And we're going to talk about an action plan in just a moment here. So one of the things in our relationship check-in is that we both saw, and an area that we need to work on for growth is conflict. Conflict. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you guys are really good. Conflict's not an issue for you. But it is for us.
Yeah.
Especially for me.
Yeah. I sometimes think it comes from we both are very strong opinions.
Yeah.
And I know that we've even run into that in a few times this week. And so it kind of, when we did this check-in, it kind of came alive that, it probably is a good area to focus on, I would say, for growth for us.
Yeah. So in fact, we didn't talk about what it was, but we had something this past week that we ran into conflict. We were arguing, and I'm trying to remember because we just talked like 15 minutes ago before we started this video about something we were arguing about. Workout? Exercising?
Yeah, we were exercising, and I honestly can't remember what it was we were arguing.
I think I made you cry.
No, you didn't make me cry, but
almost.
But I was kind of mad.
She was mad. She was mad because we were talking about something. So I don't know about you. Do you guys find that you have a conflict about something and you can't even remember what it was later? Which tells me, was it really that important?
I think it's something I actually appreciate about you because...
Me?
Yeah. Because I think we do actually have lots of conflict. Like there's times when we're
that's fair.
Disagreeing and stuff, but you are pretty easy to let go.
Right.
And that's probably, it didn't come out in this, but that being able to forgive your spouse is like super important.
Right. Yeah.
So I think you are strong in that.
I forgive you.
But in the middle of it...
I forgive you.
No, I forgive you.
She forgives me.
So, but I don't know. I was just thinking about in conflict, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you handle it better maybe than you did the last time?
Okay, so that's fair.
Yeah.
So right now, we haven't pre-planned this at all.
No.
We're going to come up with an act. She's going to talk how she's going to deal with it better next time. And I'm going to tell you how I'm going to deal with it better next time. All right.
Okay.
Who's first?
I don't know. You know I'm not very good at
She's wishing she didn't do this video now.
Well, I was thinking about, I do get hurt feelings.
I'm sorry.
When you say things.
Yes.
right? And so,
Because I like to be honest.
yeah,
That which is an emotional need.
it is. Yeah.
Right? You want honesty and openness,
Yeah.
but sometimes my way I'm honest is actually hurtful. The words. I don't know how to select my words right.
Yeah. Or I think you've taken the words in the wrong context, maybe.
That you've said.
Yes.
Right. Which I may.
You may. Yes.
Yeah, I may. Actually, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess just being aware. How's that?
Right.
Could that be an area to grow in? Like being aware, and maybe do we call it?
Call it. So do we have a code? Like
I don't know.
How do you be aware? Because if I tell you to be aware, that'll make you mad.
Yeah, I will.
So how can you be aware?
But maybe
when you're frustrated.
No, I don't think I'd be mad if you do that. But could it be like, okay, we're taking this personal.
Yeah.
But maybe if we paused and we
okay,
try to look in from
we're coming up with ideas, by the way, so be patient. Maybe you can use this.
Trying to come up with pausing to listen to the other ones, because I always say that you don't understand what I'm saying. I say that a lot.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I think.
Yes. Yes. And I say you're putting words in my mouth.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So what if we said it's time to take 3 steps back?
Yeah.
If we use that as a code for we need to problem solve this, we need to, or come up with a solution.
Or stop to look at the other.
Active listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where I have to hold the spoon.
Yeah.
If I'm talking, or maybe we have to pick up a sock.
Yeah.
So who's ever holding the sock? We argue a lot in our own room more than anywhere else in the house, actually. Because it's at the beginning of the day or end of the day, usually. The stresses, they build up, right? So,
yeah.
Okay, I think something that, and I think I just came to me this week, is, because you talk about taking it personal, right? And so if I notice Mary Lou says something, and I think she's reading into it, it bothers me because I say she's putting words in my mouth. And what I have to realize is she just needs to talk. So I actually think if I use that same thing 3 steps back, and we both have a chance to, well, essentially do active listening. Mm-hmm. So you can't talk no matter what. Mm-hmm. And staying, and maybe we'll talk about this another time about the I and you language.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Saying how I feel when this happens, this hurts me.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to you do this.
That's right.
Which does hurt you.
It does. Yeah.
Right.
So. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And I think in the heart of it, it's really hard to know the language you're using.
Yeah.
I think that's probably, and in my personality, I don't naturally, if my brain is starting to escalate, I don't stop and even think about the language I'm using. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's sometimes where we run into that conflict.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that should be easy.
Right.
But just because I feel like that doesn't make it. So, it's the whole thing, I think, where we judge us by our own intentions and other people by their actions. And so that's why it's hard. So I think what we've come up with today is we'll call it 3 steps back, which means active listening time. And each person gets to share using an I language.
Yes.
So, well, I'm just looking at the time. We've already taken much longer than we thought. And we did have one other one, but I don't think we'll touch on that today.
No. Yeah.
So
we'll do that another day.
Everyone knows we got problems. Actually, we have areas to grow. And so every marriage needs to grow. Yes. It's really understanding marriage is an art. Yeah. You got to master it. You got to get better at it. Yeah. And I don't think it's ever a finished product, essentially.
And I think starting these conversations is looking at how can we each contribute to it. Because you're going to have different personalities.
Yes.
You're going to have different communication strategies. Yeah. But if you're both committed to saying, okay, we've identified this as our focus area and our area to grow in, then what we contribute might look a little bit different because of who we are.
Yes, absolutely.
But it's the commitment of doing it together. And that comes back to my commitment piece.
Right. That means you're going to work on that because you're committed to it. So, well, guys, thank you for joining us. Yeah. Thank you for taking the time. Yeah. Hopefully this can help you start to ask the tough questions,
Yeah.
but don't just ask the questions. Come up with some solutions.
Mhm.
There's a book called Elephant in the Room. And in that book, it talks about if something's bothering you, you can talk about it for 3 minutes. And at the end of 3 minutes, you have to come up with what you're going to do about it. And I think that that's kind of essentially what we're saying. Come up with your discussion, come up with an action plan, and then work at it and see if it works this time around. Maybe it doesn't.
Mhm.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. And we hope to see you again soon. Cheers.